Hi, my name's Simon, and today I'm going to be speaking to you and try to persuade you on the benefits of playing an instrument as a child and how that can just help increase your character and just better you as an individual. First off, there's many different ways that you can raise a child. Mostly, if you're a parent that you feel when you were a child that you were brought up in a good manner and you felt that you had a great childhood, most likely you'll try and emulate that as much as possible because you want your child to have an awesome childhood as well. There's two categories I would say mainly that you could put raising your child into. One of those being just trying to keep your kid busy at all times. You want them always under a little bit of stress. That way they just slowly mature a little bit, or they mature a little bit quicker than most children, and they're ready just for the grueling challenges of life going ahead. Another one of those would be the other way, would be just easing your kid into life. I mean, you don't want them to be under too much stress. You just want to make sure they're happy and they take stuff in baby steps and slowly do get there. I would consider playing an instrument under the category of a little bit more duress. It's not horrible by any means, but it's definitely leans more towards that side. According to effectivemusicteaching.com, the three benefits that I'm going to speak about today that you get from playing an instrument are your responsibility and your concentration are going to increase a little more, a little bit faster, and you'll be exposed to a culture and history and just a lifestyle that no one else, or at least a small percentage, are a part of. And just mainly your happiness is boosted just from playing it, and so are all the happiness of the individuals around you. One of the things that kind of ties together with responsibility and concentration would be time management, just because that's such a big part of this. And moreover on that, your concentration, according to effectivemusicteaching.com, is greatly increased as well as your brain power at a much earlier age. Just because of all that goes into playing an instrument, you have to really focus on the pitch that you're playing. As if you're playing a trombone, for instance, you have to control the pitch based on how much you move your arm when you're blowing it in or out. So you have to really make sure that you can hear what you're doing. Also, the rhythm, you don't want to be going too fast or too slow. You just want to keep that steady pace. And tempo, note duration, that goes in there as well. You want to make sure the note that's on the sheet music you're playing for the correct time. And just the overall sound. You want to make sure you're hearing everything in the correct way. So that's all going on at the same time while you're trying to perform. And there's a lot firing through your head at that time. And moreover, let's say you're playing in a group. You have to not only listen to yourself and all that, you have to pay attention to everyone else around you because you're a group. You have to sound like a unit as much as possible. So think about that. As a little kid, if you want to, if you raise your child this way, there's no better way, in all honesty, in my opinion, that this could go because your kid is going to be put on so much stress and just he's going to be exposed to so much at that time that there's just no better way that he'll just be going quickly into life and just really hitting the ground running. Another way is just getting your child well rounded. That goes into just being part of a different lifestyle than most people. It's such a deep cultural history with music that you're automatically just plugged into something that started hundreds of years ago. Music has been a part of history and just a way to entertain and just express yourself for so many years that you'd automatically be part of that. And looking closer at just one line of instruments that's brought up, so you can understand the appreciation that I have for this. The harpsichord is an instrument. It preceded the piano, and it looks very similar to a piano. It was invented in 1400, so that was about 600 years ago, which is a long time ago. And the difference between a harpsichord and a piano is when you're playing a harpsichord, you can't control the volume when you press the key down, and you can't control how long the duration is. And when you're playing a piano, you have a lot more flexibility to what you play. And the piano was created in 1709 by Bartolomeo Francesco Cristofori, according to pianonet.com, which is a long time as well. But from about that point on, pianos look very similar to how they do today, and they sound almost the same as well. They're just very wonderful instruments. So as you can see, your child would just automatically be put into a category with so many people and such a long, rich history. And if you're looking at every other instrument as well, they all go and they have instruments that precede them way back in time. So no matter what instrument you decide to play, you could learn forever about it. And if you're looking more at the modern culture instead of just the history, your child automatically comes plugged into a culture that only a small percentage is a part of. You have something in common with that group automatically. This could help you land a job in an interview if you bring up that you play an instrument that they might play, or just you share a love for music just like them. And or it could just help you get in, like plug into a social group just so you have friends right away. And there's many different paths you can go with this as well. Let's say you play the drums. You can go down that route and you could become a band member. Let's say you play the violin. You could be in a symphony. And if you just play piano or guitar or anything of that sort, you could go solo. So there's many different ways a child could take this. I mean, it just gives them much more flexibility in their life. And lastly, and honestly just the most important, just the ability to just give yourself that sense of happiness and just the people around you that as well. When I've had a long, tough day or just stressed for a test or something, there's nothing better than just taking 10 minutes out of my day and just sitting down and playing piano, because I mean it's therapeutic, honestly, and it just lightens the mood around everything, and I know it's just great. And also, like personally, for the people around me, that's the biggest satisfaction. I play at a nursing home twice a week, and there's nothing better than just seeing all their faces light up when I go in there and play for them. They love all the classics like Frank Sinatra, so just going in there, being able to speak to them about any of that, like I just couldn't think of anything different to do. And if a child can do that as well and just slowly works his way up, I started in about fourth grade with the nursing home, and I've done it ever since, and I would never do anything different. And that kind of leads me to the conclusion. Just the benefits of playing piano, once again, there's just the responsibility and concentration that you build because you have to do it on your own. There's no one else that can push you past a certain point, and you just have to be able to use all the brain you possibly can. It's very challenging, but it comes naturally after a while. And just all the history you get plugged into with all the music and all that, and then even today, all the culture that you get plugged into as well. And then just the overall happiness that you get from it. It's honestly a fulfilling feeling. And personally, I just feel obligated to explain it to you guys that this is a real thing. And I would never, like, I can't even picture my life without music. And any child that starts at a young age honestly would feel the same way when he gets to my age as well. And honestly, if you haven't started now, I mean, it honestly isn't, it's never too late to start. So if you'd like to start anytime, just go for it and see where you can go from there. Thank you for listening.